So in this video, we're going to make a really cool piece of epoxy art. I'm Elliot at Wood Weapons Workshop, and let's watch this video. So in the beginning, I'm sanding it down and just making it smooth because epoxy isn't really nice looking when there's a bunch of fuzz on the wood. And now here you can see I'm drawing out the basic shape of where I'm going to cut. So I'm doing like a river idea, so I want to have the inside of that be epoxy. This video I actually filmed a while ago. It was before we had the new shop, so we moved into a better shop. But yeah, and you can see I didn't have a scroll saw either. We were just using basic tools. But yeah, this was actually before we created the channel Wood Weapons Workshop with our friends, and yeah. So here I'm just cutting off all that fuzz, because like I said, that is not good for epoxy. And I'm just sanding it off with a Dremel, and I'm pretty much doing that to both the pieces of wood. And of course more sanding. And I think, yeah, I actually use a torch up here to get that microscopic fuzz off the wood, because it doesn't look good on epoxy. So yeah, that just kind of burns it off, and then I can sand the rest off. And yeah, you can see here it's starting to get pretty smooth and nice. So now I'm making a little backboard for it so that the epoxy doesn't spill out. So this is what's going to be behind it so the epoxy can harden. And then you cut that away and the epoxy just stays, but it takes about 14 hours for it to cure. I'm using hot glue, which isn't the best thing to use, but it works fast, and that's what I wanted to do at the time. So this is actually getting interesting here. You can see I'm pouring the epoxy. So it's two-part epoxy. So there's a hardener and then the actual epoxy. And I mix it up, and then I add some dye. And for those of you who are wondering, I'm actually not using deep pour epoxy, even though this is a deep pour, which is not generally a good idea. I am using tabletop epoxy, which is only supposed to be used in like 1/8 of an inch, pretty much. But I pour it, and it ended up working. But the problem is it cracks sometimes, and you don't want it to crack. So yeah, after curing, then I can just cut all that foam off, and then sand it down, and it looks pretty good. But this is actually on like 20 times speed. It actually took like 15 minutes just to cut this off. So now the epoxy is about like 1/4 of an inch down below the wood, so I'm sanding it down to kind of have that like river effect, like shoreline effect. And then, of course, wood stain to give it that nice chocolate color. This is actually a cylinder of willow from a tree that fell near us, and I saw it, and I thought it would be a cool thing to make. But yeah, I filmed this video like almost a year ago now. So that's the backboard, and you'll see why that's important in a bit. That's some water protection I just sprayed on. So I'm actually hollowing out a little gap in that backboard for some batteries, a little battery pack, because in the end this epoxy project actually lights up, and now I'm laying down those lights, as you can see. That is the finished product, so you can see the lights shining through the back, and it looks really nice in the dark. Anyway, that's the end of this video, so if you enjoyed it, please like and subscribe, and thanks for watching.